tired all the time? Have you ever found yourself saying, I'm just tired, I'm tired all the time? Not necessarily exhausted, but just tired. Not necessarily unwell, but just tired. I mean, you get through the day tired and you finish the day tired. It's gotten to the extent that you've been saying, oh, this is just probably what happens when you're getting older. The question is it though? You know, if your body keeps on whispering, I'm tired, perhaps one of the questions that we need to ask is, what am I actually giving my body to work with? Now, of course, we know that there are many causes for tiredness. For example, poor sleep, stress, iron deficiency, medication, or even illness itself, not eating enough, and a myriad of other things. So if you're persistently tired, unusually fatigued, or something simply just does not feel right, please do speak with your medical practitioner. We don't want to assume that it's your diet, your age, or that you simply need to push through. But alongside that, I think there's another question that we can ask ourselves. Are we really nourishing the body that we expect to keep carrying us through the day well? Remember, your body needs energy for everything it does. For your brain to think, for your heart to beat, for your muscles to move, and for your cells to function. Now, one of the body's major sources of energy comes from carbohydrates. Yes, I know that carbohydrates have had quite a bad reputation over the years, but we need to make a distinction between refined carbohydrates and whole food carbohydrates. Now, I'm not talking about cakes and biscuits, sweets and highly processed foods. No, of course not. I'm talking about foods such as oats, brown rice, potatoes, sweet potatoes, beans, lentils, and fruit. You see, these are the foods that provide carbohydrates together with fibre and a whole range of much needed nutrients. And that is very different from simply eating refined sugar. You know, I sometimes laugh at the thought that we can be well fed and yet undernourished. Have you ever thought of that? We can eat a lot, we can feel full, we can have food available to us all day long and yet still not giving our bodies the range of nutrients they need to function well. That's quite something, isn't it? Because being full is not always the same thing as being nourished. And I think that's where many of us get caught out. We may be eating enough calories, perhaps even more than enough. But how much fibre are we getting? How much iron? How much potassium? How much magnesium? How much folate? How many different plant foods are actually appearing on our plates? Sometimes I look at the way we eat today and I think, my goodness, we've never had so much food available to us. And yet we still have to ask the question, are we truly nourished? And that's one of the reasons why I keep coming back to whole foods. You see, for me, whole food, plant-based, oil-free eating is about making nourishment the foundation. Vegetables, fruit, beans, lentils, whole grains, potatoes, nuts and seeds in appropriate amounts, herbs and spices. Whole foods that provide the body with nutrients in the form in which they naturally occur. This is not about perfection. This is not about worrying about every single mouthful either. It is about asking, what is the foundation of the way I eat? You see, if most of what we're eating is ultra-processed, highly refined and low in fibre, perhaps our bodies may be asking us for something more. And talking about iron, when someone says that they're feeling tired, iron is one nutrient that comes up very often. Now, plant foods can provide iron too. Foods such as lentils, beans, chickpeas, tofu, leafy green vegetables, seeds, and whole grains. But please don't simply guess that you are low in iron and start taking supplements. Absolutely not. If tiredness persists, speak with your medical practitioner and where appropriate, have it properly investigated. You know, sometimes we may not be eating enough, and this may surprise some people. When we're trying to lose weight, for example, we can become so focused on eating less that we may start underfueling ourselves. And when we do that, we begin to wonder why we are feeling tired suddenly. Now, this is why I always come back to a whole food plant-based diet. You see, it can be very filling because it contains plenty of fiber and water. But we must always remember that meals need to be substantial. A tiny salad may be plant-based, but it may not be enough to sustain you. Think about a proper nourishing meal. Potatoes, beans, greens, oats with fruit and seeds, a hearty bean or lentil stew. That, my friend, is nourishment. Now, food is important, but of course it isn't everything. And I do want to say this. Sometimes we're looking at food when the body is actually asking us to look at several other things. Are you drinking enough? Are you sleeping enough? Are you moving your body enough? Are you constantly stressed? Are you giving yourself every opportunity to rest and recover at the end of each day? You see, sometimes we keep asking food to solve a problem that has several different pieces. But I do know that health is a whole life conversation, and I think that is so important. So what can you do today? Let's make this really practical. If you have been feeling tired, look at one typical day of eating. Not with judgment or guilt, just with curiosity. Just ask yourself, where are my whole foods? Where are my beans or lentils? Where are my vegetables? Where are my fruit? Where are my whole grains or starchy vegetables? Where are my greens? Where are my whole food sources of healthy fats? When you've done that, ask yourself one simple question. What can I add? Because that is where I like to begin. Add a nourishing breakfast, add beans to lunch, add greens to dinner, add fruit, add some ground flaxseed and more whole foods. One choice at a time. So if your body keeps on saying, I'm tired, don't dismiss it. Listen. Please, there may be many reasons for tiredness, and persistent fatigue deserves proper attention. So if that tiredness is ongoing, unexplained, or it's concerning, do speak with your medical practitioner. Now use the nourishment ideas we've discussed today as part of supporting your health, not as a replacement for medical assessment or advice. Alongside them, ask yourself, am I really nourishing my body in a way that supports the work I expect it to do every single day? Remember, your body does an extraordinary amount for you. Perhaps it is worth giving your body better raw materials, such as whole plant foods, fiber-rich foods, simple meals, consistent nourishment. Now, if you would like some help putting all this into practice, please do take a look at the Plant-Powered Health Transformation and the ABC method. You'll find it in the description below. Now, it's designed to help you to understand the principles between a whole food, plant-based, oil-free lifestyle and then put them into practice through 3 simple steps. Add nourishing choices, build better meals, and create a healthier, more sustainable lifestyle. Always remember, small steps, big change, lasting health. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you found value in this video, please do like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. God bless.